Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Raiding Away with the RoughRaptors. This might be a bit rough as I'm still getting used to things, so just hang in there as I attempt to explain stuff and mechanics to the best of my ability. This episode is the third progression boss in Planebreaker Bastion, Warden Thrax, and he would be one of my personal favorite fights because it's basically just a complete personal accountability check fight, and that just means everything, or at least mostly everything, will kill you in 1 or 2 hits, making it really easy to see in your raid who is just shitty at doing mechanics and who can actually pick up on mechanics quickly and do them. So I really like it for that reason. The optimal setup for this fight, I would say, would be a single tank, a Defiler, a Chloro, and a Warden if necessary, although you could probably get away with mixing things up if you need extra healing, like 2 Chloros or 2 Chloros and a Warden, basically, but I wouldn't recommend any more than that. The fight really is not about maximizing your DPS until the end mechanic, which we'll get to when time comes. It's just simply about staying alive until the very end of the fight. One thing that you really need to be aware of is those glowing little pillars. You do not want to be on those until he uses the ability called Greater Tectonic Transference, which will be explained in a moment. Right now the mechanic he's doing is Tectonic Transference, not the greater version, which just means get out of the yellow circle and get to a safe spot. Right now he's doing greater, which means you actually want to get on that pillar that I said to not get on because previously it would kill you, and little lasers will spawn, as you can see, and you want to jump when you see the outline of the laser. Make sure to not jump before you see that or when positioning yourself, or you will go flying and you'll get yelled at for dying. One thing to note is that if your tank is not in melee range, he will just kill the person highest on his threat table and continue doing so until the tank is in melee range with an ability called Frenzied Strike. Although, if the tank is in melee range, his auto attack hits the tank and reduces their max HP per hit down to 40%. And also it's pretty hard, so you need to be careful, which is why in the video it's being 2 tanked for progression, but 1 tank can be fine if you have the HP, which you probably should by now, and a good Defiler to mate you using Unstable Transformation during an auto attack phase. The next mechanic to note is Suppression, which leaves a yellow circle on the ground that follows players and is just extremely easy to avoid. Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah, don't stand in bad. The mechanic that's about to go off now is Rock Slide, which is a red AoE conal breath that hits players for about half of their HP and knocks them backwards. So if you get knocked back into a glowing pillar thingy of death or a section without a platform, you're gonna die. So basically just don't get hit by it in general. It's really easy to avoid, just like Suppression. So while Greater's going on again, there's the chain mechanic that you're seeing. Multiple players will be chosen at random and linked together by a chain. So in the back, notice how the people with the chain on this platform are in the back, so they actually don't hit anyone. Anyone who touches the chain actually will be hit for about 10,000 damage repeatedly. It hurts really bad on a DPS, so people need to know that they have the chain as soon as possible and act accordingly. It can also triple chain and quad chain, meaning 3 or 4 people can be chained together at the same time, so you really need to be careful. Basically, other people also need to really look and just get the hell out of the way of the person with the chain. The next mechanic to talk about is Seismic Disturbance, which is the cause for most of the player deaths of this fight. It's a knockback with a very small damage component, but as you have seen, the platforms behind Thrax are constantly falling, so you have to position yourself appropriately. To do this, face your character towards a platform with a yellow bubble, or if there are no yellow bubbles, face towards the platform that has already fallen, as everything behind you is reversed. So if in front of you would kill you, then that means behind you is safe. So the final mechanic to note is an ability called Execution that will start at about 12 to 10%, maybe a bit lower depending on when or what he's actually casting at the time. It's the real test of the fight, meaning if you have 20 people alive, you've probably won, so congratulations. If Execution actually finishes casting though, your entire raid will die. But if you kill him before it goes off, then as you can see, he will die. That is Warden Thrax. I don't think I left anything out. If I did, please let me know. This is my first time doing this. I've never made a video like this or an instructional guide like this. I usually just stick to written warrior guides. Please leave your feedback in the comments. You can email them to me at roughRaptors@gmail.com. You can message me on Twitter. Basically, just put a / RoughRaptors at the end of something, and you'll find me. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll get some good reception, good feedback, and be able to make some more of these. Thanks.